seated, you know, some months later. Whether or not a new board will be seated, that's, you know, that's highly speculative. What's not speculative is it's likely that our upper level managers will seek employment elsewhere if they don't have some level of understanding as to whether or not they're going to be needed in this district. So that's the rationale. Members of this Board of Education understand that very well. To say that we haven't had an opportunity to discuss this publicly, I don't know what this is if it's not public discussion. The contracts that existed, these contracts are some of the best contracts for superintendents and assistant superintendents from a management perspective, from the board's perspective, from the community's perspective. I know because I was involved in these. When I got on this board, if a superintendent left this school district, they basically automatically got 18 months of pay. And that's not unheard of in other school districts. In fact, it's the state, it's the maximum allowed by the state is 18 months of pay if they're asked to leave. We slimmed that down even to the point where our attorney who was representing us in those contract negotiations said, are you sure you want to put this out here? Because you may lose a good superintendent because they may or may not want to hang out for this shortened period. So even though we're providing, or what's on the table tonight is to provide an extension of a year, to extend these contracts to June of 2014, the reality is if the board, that's a newly seated board, decides that the superintendent or another senior level staff member needs to go, the payout would be 9 months. If the extension was 4 years, the payout would be 9 months or less. So there are provisions that protect the district and the community from excessive payouts. And then certainly if you were to look at other school districts and contract language for superintendents and assistant superintendents in those school districts, you would see that we have very good contracts that do protect the board and the community. To say though that these were just dropped on us, these contracts have been in existence since 2010 in existence. All board members have access to these contracts. All members of the community have access to these contracts. These are not just dropped on us. They've been in existence and in circulation for quite some time. You know, any board member, I'd be shocked if every board member hasn't had these contracts in their hand. And if they had questions, they certainly had a responsibility to their constituencies to ask those questions, to ask for clarifications about those questions. And they had, you know, everybody's been on here for quite some time, certainly enough time to be able to ask pertinent questions about the